and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday. And you know what that means? It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you. We got a big week of the toy news to talk about, a lot of wrestling stuff to digest on top of everything else. But first, before we get too far into that, got to thank our friends over there at jaystoysandgames.com. Use code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there for sponsoring, of course, the weekly purchases, the toy news, each and every single week. Shout out to jaystoysandgames.com. Shout out to the Patreon members as well. Patreon, you got the April Q&A video this week. Actually, is when it dropped. Too hot for YouTube. A lot of people saying, Kyle, why does that got to be behind Patreon? Why does that got to be behind a paywall? As it is the Angie Q&A. And in all honesty, there's stuff she says in there I don't want on traditional YouTube for everybody to know about. So that's a little bit of a wild one. As you can imagine with Angie, you know how it goes off the rails real quick. But it is the Angie Q&A. So check that out. Patreon members, it's up there right now. And of course, Patreon, your best way to support the channel. You guys know that as well. Tons of content over there, much earlier than traditional YouTube. There's a lot going down over on Patreon. But this month, we got a Turtles giveaway from our friend from the couch, Todd McFarlane. Bebop and Rocksteady Page Puncher Edition. Amazing figures. Not everybody likes those ones. I do like the Bebop and Rocksteady especially. Those are very fun and very heavy figures. Check out the Patreon, support the channel. You guys know the drill by now, but let's dive into it. I just had the longest day of my life. This week's episode of the Kyle Peterson Show podcast has already been filmed. It's already in the can. It's on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships. But the following week, I'm going to break it all down. I had like the worst trip of my life to Chicago. You would not believe it. I'm so stressed out. I'm like becoming forgetful. Or yes, I have dementia. That could be. I'm not exactly sure. But man, two brutal things going on there. And then a lot more to talk about. So that's, I'm going to save for the podcast. But I'll tell you today, I was up at 5 a.m. I presented from 7 o'clock to noon. And then I drove from Chicago, or I drove home from Chicago. Yeah, I guess that's it. And now here we are. So it's been a heck of a long day for me. So if I mess up, give me some grace. Give me some grace. We'll see what happens. But we got a lot to digest, and it could go off the rails. You're exactly right, Todd. I'm a little cantankerous. I'm a little bit argumentative today. Maybe it will go off the rails in this one here. And we're going to start it off with some little interesting topic here. Coliseum Collection. We've got Kane and Yokozuna ringside exclusive Ultimates. Man, oh man, if there was ever a head scratcher, because we knew the Coliseum Collection is supposed to be the LJN line, basically made into the Ultimate Edition line, a love letter to the past. We looked the other way just in the last couple of weeks when they announced Smash for Coliseum Collection. You know, we justified it, is what we did. It's all about justification, Tom and Farland. We said, well, they made Axe. They were going to make Smash. It works. You can't have Axe without Smash, even though they did it once upon a time. We justified it in our head. We found a way. We circled around. We found a way to make that one work. I'm out of ideas on this one, Todd. How is Yokozuna, how is Kane in the Ultimate Edition a Coliseum Collection? There's no answering for this one. There's no answering. The only answer you have, follow the money. Follow the money, people. We say it all the time here on the channel. This is exactly what that is. This Kane looks to be the Raw ring that was an exclusive 2 years ago, something like that. Yokozuna, a Target exclusive not too long ago. And now here we are in the Coliseum Collection with these getting re-released. Now, possibilities, we haven't seen anything yet. Possibilities are going to be something different with this. We'll find out very soon, I would have to imagine. But pre-orders are live at Ringside. Use code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Now, there's a whole segment of people right now that maybe don't have Targets, or whatever the reason may be. They couldn't get that Yokozuna. Maybe they didn't have the finances at the time. Whatever it may be, same thing with Kane. Maybe they missed out on it. They didn't want the ring, etc., etc. It is great for those people. I'm not going to ruin their day on this kind of thing. But there's a whole segment of the collector's base that, well, I don't want these in here. Now, here's the easy thing. If it's the exact same thing, you just move on. You move on. You don't have to buy it. But you got to remember, Mattel in this day and age, all these toy companies, they're trying to get every penny more than ever. All companies are trying to get every penny more than ever. I can tell you that in my day-to-day job, probably yours as well. They say, hey, they being Mattel, they being Ringside, obviously Mattel leads it. It's their product. Ringside's just selling it. But hey, a lot of people want this Kane. We have the tooling. We have the figure. Let's do another run. Bada bing, bada boom. We got Kane back out for everybody. It makes business sense because if they can make money, they're going to do it. All of our favorites that we hope are gaining value every single day, throw it in the can. Rick Martel, Akeem, there's some hard hitters. The Von Erichs, there's some hard hitters that are still worth a good penny. All honesty, if you're about the value in this game, you probably should sell those because eventually the Von Erich's going to come around. They're going to get a Legends deal. Eventually Akeem's going to come around. We're going to get him in one-man gang. There's going to be a Legends deal. Probably want to sell those and make the money you can because it's going to plummet the values. We're seeing it across the board from Mattel. It is what it is. If you're here for collecting for money, it's not the best scheme. As I always say, go to your 401k. Do something like that. But if you're in it for the love of the game, it is what it is. You're going to expect things like that. And if you already have this Kane, you already have this Yokozuna, you just move on. Now, my hope is it is a direct re-release. If it's not, oh my gosh, you got to buy this Yokozuna for just a different head. What are we doing here? Either way, a lot of people upset about this one. I'm not so upset with the re-release. We see it with Greatest Hits. We see it from the vault. We see it all the time. I'm not super upset with that. I'm more upset about this going into the Coliseum collection, ruining that line in a lot of ways. I don't know about ruining, but you know what I mean. If you're a completionist in that line, you were doing it as a love letter to the LJNs. Now it's all out of whack, and it really takes a lot of luster off that line, and I wonder if this line has long legs after this one here. We'll see where it goes. But I've talked enough about it. But how about more re-releases? Yeah, more re-releases, Todd. Ultimate Edition Best of Series 9. Looks like we're getting Eddie Guerrero back in the mix. Once upon a time, a Walmart exclusive, I believe. Well, once again, we don't know exactly what this is. Just like Kane and Yoko, we knew who it is. We got an idea, but we haven't seen pretty promotional images yet. So take note of that. Eddie Guerrero, Bret Hart, Rey Mysterio, and Gunther. Will they be mixed up and changed a little bit like we saw with AJ Styles, for example? Undertaker, for example? Or are they going to be straight re-releases? I guess we'll find out very soon. Retro, Cena, Kane, and Diesel, ringside exclusives. We saw those at San Diego Comic-Con. Just a little tweaks. The biggest difference is the packaging difference on these. So take note of that. And then the greatest hits line, Cena, Roman, Gunther, playing all the hits once again. So that makes sense there. So a lot of people a little bit worked up. Let's be honest, a little bit worked up about this one here. And rightfully so. I don't know. It's an interesting time. Be very interested to see where you back there in the back, where do you stand on all this? I'd love to hear your thought process. I think truly it is great for somebody that missed out, didn't want the ring, whatever. You couldn't get Kane, you couldn't get Yoko, you couldn't get these greatest hits. But I do understand how somebody's like, well, I was collecting for value or whatever. I say don't do it, but I understand why people do it. So I don't know. Take that for what it is. How about we move over to AEW Jazwares Series 13 on the Jazwares Vault? Not just a ringside exclusive anymore. Kyle Fletcher Chase Edition you could get over there as well. The final hurrah, the last regular line we'll get from AEW, unfortunately. And as you're watching this, I got 2 new AEW figures in the mail that should be on the channel shortly. So be on the lookout for those videos very, very soon. The Jazwares Vault, if you're after it, head over there. Dalton, Castle, and the Outrunners, both of those shipping now. I thought they were supposed to ship in June. It looks like they shipped out early. Once again, I should have those fairly soon as well. So be on the lookout for those reviews on the channel. Make sure you subscribe. What are you waiting for? Now we turn our attention over to some of the third-party companies that are really making a name for themselves. One of them is Zombie Sailor Toys and his Pinnacle line, and it looks like we got Shane Douglas right around the corner, and I think we'll have New Jack maybe around the same time, if not sooner. So a lot going on over there at Zombie Sailor. But you think Zombie's got a lot going on? How about KWK? Our friend Sean over there, he's got so much stuff going on this week, it makes my head spin. He did officially have the pre-order up the month of May. New month, yeah. May flowers or something. Was it April showers? Bring May flowers, Todd McFarlane. Hayabusa and the Great Sasuke pre-order right now. So those are fairly limited. So 2 very popular masked men from the Orient. I'm here for it. Sign me up. Can't wait to see those. We also saw an updated image on the Laredo Kid as they're dialing in the process over there to get that one just right. Laredo Kid, no stranger to the action figure game, but that'll be his first retro figure, which will be interesting to see. We also saw something very fun, near and dear to my heart. Dory Funk Jr. ×3 coming in hot. Yeah, Haas Funk, we know all that kind of stuff. But Dory Funk Jr., we did see the packaging images there. I'm excited for that one. And kudos to Sean, beating Mattel to the punch and beating Power Town to the punch as well. Our first real Dory Funk figure in a heck of a long time, if you're not really counting the Japanese stuff. So very excited about that. We also saw for May, Sam Adonis, of course, the brother of Corey Graves, a wrestling family, as some may say. Their dad was a promoter, if I'm not mistaken, in the Pittsburgh area. Yeah, Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux country. Oh, yeah, Todd's like, oh, okay, Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux. It all rings when you bring the hockey into it. I did see some hockey figures. Well, I'll save it for the toy hunt. I went to Toys R Us this week in Chicago, so I did get some footage of that. We saw some hockey figures, Todd McFarlane of yours. But we did see Sam Adonis 1 of 100. So Club KWK, you know what you got to do. You got to get that collar. It's just like Club Grayskull. Get that thing ready. But very excited to see that one as the newest member of the 1 of 100 club over there. Sean also did, for KWK, announced San Diego Comic-Con time frame. They are going to announce San Diego Comic-Con week, a top female talent that has been signed. Who could it be? I guess we'll just have to wait and see who that is. And in the final piece of the KWK puzzle this week, we're going to talk O-rings. Yep, Todd, we're talking your O-ring again. Bad News Brown, Jake the Snake Roberts, coming very, very soon. We're getting those new O-ring figures from KWK. It seems like Pro Wrestling Tees has kind of abandoned ship on theirs. It was really all over the place. Wasn't received very well. I can't say anything because I never had them in hand, but it'll be interesting to see how the KWK ones take off. Is there a form of the action figure collectors in wrestling that want this style? Could there be G.I. Joe collectors that grab these to mix with their G.I. Joe figures? That could be a heck of a play as well. Jake the Snake Roberts joins Cobra. It writes itself, folks. It writes itself. Bad News Brown, could he be the evil drill instructor? I guess, yeah, that was kind of Roddy Piper, but play along, Todd. We could have Bad News against Sergeant Slaughter. There's a lot of meat on that bone, so you Joe collectors watching this, you might want to dial into some of these KWK 3 3/4 O-ring figures. We'll see where that goes. But not done with the extra lines this week. Top Rope Collectibles, we saw Marcus Alexander Bagwell and, of course, 2 Cold Scorpio. Here comes 2 Cold Scorpio. 2-pack over there, coming sooner rather than later, as we always like to say here. We also got an update, a very in-your-face update from Top Rope Collectibles this week about their disappointment in their Mr. Wonderful figure. So I do give them kudos for spilling the tea, as the kids say, and being fully transparent. But having the 2 pieces on Mr. Wonderful's neck, they don't like how it looks. Honestly, to me, it wasn't terrible, but I know some people want the full-on head, one-piece type thing. But they were fairly transparent on there. I'm sure if somebody pre-ordered and want a refund, I'm sure they could reach out for that. It is disappointing when you spend so much time working on something like that and it doesn't come out the exact way you want it to. I can understand their frustrations. Constant learning, constant improvement. That's what we're going to see from them, hopefully in the future there. We also saw Epic Toys this week. It looks like Jushin Thunder Liger pre-order right now. There's like a 2-week window. If you want Jushin Liger, of course, in Epic Toys retro style, now's your chance. Head over to Epic Toys. Latoony, no stranger to the news each and every week. We saw the WrestleMatics series, Marty Jannetty. Yes, Marty Jannetty, party with Marty. We know how it is. We got Marty Jannetty coming very soon. This week on the channel, cheap plug, I did do a countdown video. Top 5 wrestling figures we'll never see again. Wrestling characters we'll never see again. And it was interesting reading the comments. And it's always interesting, some of these videos, because a lot of people commented, well, we're never going to see this guy, this guy, this guy. When those guys are currently having figures coming out, they just had figures coming out. They have figures coming out very soon. It tells me there's a lot of people that watch countdowns like this that are not involved in a lot of things, that don't really know what's going on, or they only pay attention to Mattel possibly. I'm not sure. So that was a little bit wild to see some of this response. Like, these guys have figures. They have figures coming out. And one of those guys that was on many of people's lists, they said, we'll never see another Marty Jannetty figure. Well, we got a Big Rubber Guys not too long ago. Latoony is doing them. I would not be shocked to see Latoony do a Big Rubber Guy style as well. So it's interesting. But check out that top 5 video if you dare. If you dare. Some shockers on there, I'm sure. Some shockers. But speaking of BRG's Big Rubber Guys, this week they officially unveiled the May pre-order. It's Dangerous Danny Davis. Could we see another one in the future as a referee? Get the most out of the Earl Hebner mold, pop a different head on there or something. I could see that happening. But we saw Dangerous Danny Davis. You can pair him up with the Hart Foundation if you want to, Jimmy Hart, etc. We also saw the British Bulldog. No shocker, this one was coming. We see a lot of Bulldog figures from all these third-party companies, as we do know. The selling point for this one, though, is Winston getting another dog. Us Bulldog fans, man, we're eating good with all these action figures of Bulldogs, but we do got Winston coming. I believe it's Winston. Matilda was, I always get it confused, but I'm pretty sure it's Winston. Matilda was with the Bulldogs back in the day. I'm sure there was some stunt dogs in between, maybe something like that. But we do got those coming from Big Rubber Guys, so get your order in. I always wait till the very end of the month. I want them sitting on my money as little as I can. I order so much stuff, a month savings, or you wait 30 days to pay, just works out better for me. Choose your own money adventure is what we'll say. Somebody was asking the other day for my credit score. I think it's like 785 or something like that. So it's pretty good credit. It's pretty good. Let me tell you, I can get a loan if I need one. Maybe a business loan. Anybody want to go into business together? Let's start a business. Let's do it. Maybe, maybe not. Keeping the hits coming, Major Bendy's, Sabu, Joey Janela, the final dance of Sabu, the little 2-pack action, that is up for pre-order for Major Bendy's if you're collecting the Major Bendy's. Regime, we're moving over to Grapplers and Gimmicks in the Regime line, of course, Mitch. Regime, Alfred Hayes, man, oh man, playing a lot of hits there. Alfred Hayes, voice of my childhood. I would love a wrestler version of Alfred Hayes. Only know I've seen him like twice in wrestling as far as a wrestler. I remember him more as an announcer, of course, but also a manager in some deep cut tapes and stuff. Let's deal with these lights in here, Todd. They keep flickering on me. Probably spirits. They're after me. After the day I've had today, you guys wouldn't believe. I'm going to be so worked up. It's a good thing I'm not filming that podcast episode right now because I am so fired up right now. You would not believe, but I'm going to wait a week till we film next time. And hopefully I could be a little bit more level-headed, a little bit more clear. We'll see what happens. But lights stop flickering on me. I paid the electricity bill, Todd. Yes, I did. It's the spirits. I think is what it is. Not the wine and spirits. Yeah, Todd. Todd's like, it's a party. It's a Friday night. Something like that, maybe. But we did see Alfred Hayes. As I said, I would love to see more Alfred Hayes. I don't know if that's in the cards anywhere, but man, fun deep cut. We also saw an improved image of Raven. This Raven looks great. The head sculpt on this one looks really, really good. Very excited to see where that one goes sooner rather than later, once again. And then we saw the traditional Grapplers and Gimmicks retro style figures. We saw Just Incredible. He's just incredible. And we saw Aldo Montoya, who I have yet to unbox. I got him standing right over here, waiting to unbox his figure from Zombie Sailor. But we'll get to it eventually. But we do have a Grapplers and Gimmicks version coming around the corner. We also saw MVP, the most valuable player, Abe Knuckleball Shorts. You guys know him from his Jakks Classic Superstars days. We're getting him from Mitch. We're also getting the Brooklyn Brawler and Kim Chi. So we're playing all the hits and the 3 gimmicks of Steve Lombardi. Can we get a straight up Steve Lombardi too? Would love to see a Brooklyn Brawler Regime figure. We'll see if that one ends up being in the cards. No stranger to these as well. Shane Douglas, the old franchise. Shane Douglas coming there. And last but certainly not least, a deep cut from Memphis. Not a super deep cut. He's in the NWA right now, a manager over there. It's one Austin Idol. A lot of people say, Hulk Hogan stole from Austin Idol when he was in Memphis and things. So a respectable name of the past. Does that mean respectable sales? I'm not quite sure on that one, but it leads me to wonder, could we get an Eric Embry? I think it's Chad Smith out there. He watches and comments. He wants an Eric Embry. There's two. And you know what, Todd? Todd's going to order one. We're going to get 6. Just between the Chad, Todd, and I, we're going to order 6 Eric Embry. So if somebody wants to do it, you got 6 sales right off the bat. So shout out to Eric Embry, of course, as we do know. But that's the Grapplers and Gimmicks update this week, which, Todd, you know what that means. We got all the wrestling news covered but one. It's time for the Power Town update. All right, it's time for the Power Town update. And Todd, you're not going to believe this week. I was in Chicago this week, as I said. Shenanigans aplenty, hard times, disappointment, frustration, you name it, more in the future. But you're not going to believe this week. Power Town did the unthinkable, the unimaginable. How many weeks in a row have we had Power Town news, Todd? It's been like 3 years. Each and every single Saturday, I'm the only one reporting all these important Power Town news facts. And we've been doing it for like 3 years straight. This week, you're not going to believe this, no news. No Power Town news this week. Power Town took a week off. They are the most vocal, the most chirpy. They're always giving us updates all the time. Each week, you can set your watch to it. You can set your Rolex, your Casio, your phone, whatever it may be. Your Simpsons watch from Burger King. Exactly, Todd. You can set it to that one too. Power Town each and every week comes with the fire, comes with the update. We get invited to parties. We get invited to meetings. This week, radio silence. I don't know about you guys. I'm getting worried if this company is going to go under. Are they going to fulfill these orders? I've never thought, oh, that's not going to happen until right now. Now I'm scared about it. I'm a little bit nervous. There was not a chirp out of Power Town this week. Very disappointing. We enjoy the updates. The people enjoy the updates, but we got nothing. We got absolutely nothing. Steve and the guys, maybe they took a vacation. I'm not sure. Maybe I missed it. Did I miss it? Somebody got the news. Put it in the comments. Maybe I missed it when I was in Chicago, but no news this week. I want to make that clear. There was no news from Power Town this week. I can't believe it. In a shocking twist of events. We'll hope for better next week, Todd. We'll hope for better for next week. But as Jerry Reed always says, the news keeps on going. We got everything but wrestling now. Let's start off with Masters of the Universe. How about? I'm a Masters guy. And we're a month away from the movie right now, so getting excited to go see that one. Are you going to see the Masters of the Universe movie in the theater? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to get one of those great popcorn buckets, Todd. Oh, it's going to be an all-timer. But we'll see. We'll see where that ends up going. But about a month away. But that means more figures. We've unboxed a lot of He-Man stuff lately on the channel. And we're going to have more to come this week as well. But we did see this week Masters of the Universe 2000X series. Good old Keldor, once upon a time voiced by one William Shatner, Todd McFarlane. And he's been in a few of the properties over the years. We got Keldor in the 2000X line. Buzz Off, one of the all-timers as well, coming to the line. And then we got maybe my favorite of all time. Maybe. We got Webster Long, of course. No Mam and George in the line yet, but we did get Webster Long.
Hello, Kyle Peterson. How are you? This is Emmanuel Lewis. You also know me from the TV show Webster. Listen, man, I think it's so awesome. Thank you so much.
I'm a huge Webster Long guy, of course. And, Ben Vereen, I in some ways, I think Ben Vereen should have taken him away. I don't know. Should have took him from Mam and George, you think? I don't know. But Webster Long, one of the all-time greats, as we know. And good friend of the channel as well. Shout out to Webster. Sorry, Emmanuel Lewis. Emmanuel. Yeah, there you go. Prince Gray, Club Grayskull, pop the collar for next week. We got another one. It is Prince Gray. Very cool. Hero's alter ego. Got that one coming. Even comes with the spirit of Grayskull on his back. He's got a ghost on his back. Like I got these lights around here tonight. Who knows there? And we also saw Man-at-Arms Sketch Edition with Skeletor nameplate. Why not? But we got Man-at-Arms coming to the Sketch Edition series. Manny Faces we unboxed just this week on the channel. Check out that review if you did miss that along the way. Now we turn our attention over to our friends at NECA and Man a Head Scratcher. And I double-checked. It's not lice. Even got that tongue depressor thing out. No lice here, thankfully. And I did, when I was in Chicago, kind of over by my hotel as I was driving to the office, I looked over at one of the lights and there was a lice clinic. It just said lice clinic. And I'm like, is this for just head lice? Is that what's going on there? I don't know what was going on. Chicago, what are we doing? But we're moving over to NECA here. And we're not going to talk NECA Ultimates. We're going to talk NECA Ultimates. Ultimates? Is that what it is? What is this? And they haven't announced it officially yet. But these are going to be like higher price NECA figures. It's moving the goalposts to make the NECA Ultimates dumb down. They're going to start dumbing those down or maybe cease them in the future. We'll see. Dumb those down. Now we got the Super Ultimates that are the Ultimates. What are we doing, folks? They're trying to grind us for more money. That's the key here. I'm going to quit this hobby. It's getting too expensive for me. Too expensive. I got to retire one day, guys. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll retire next week. You never know. Keep you guessing. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it in depth when we get the announcement. But is anybody at this point going to pay $55, $60, $75 for Ultimates? Yes, people pay it for Super 7 foolishly sometimes. Have you seen the sale over at Big Bad this week? Man, oh man. I don't know where this goes, but I think it's going to anger a lot of the fan base, and that's never good. You never want to split and polarize your audience. We know that, and I do it every single day, Todd McFarlane. But in happier NECA news, one of the lines I'm the most excited for in a heck of a long time, and this week's top 5 might revolve around something like this. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Maybe I'll do that top 5 this week. We'll see what happens. But NECA DuckTales. So there's a DuckTales line. I'm all in. DuckTales, the greatest thing Disney ever did. I said it. There's nothing else. And I'm a guy that's seen no Disney cartoon movies. You're not going to... I remember as a kid, my parents trying to get me to go to The Lion King, and I would have none of it. No, I don't want to go to that. I like violence and murder and death, and not a lot of death, but unfortunately in the childhood cartoons. But I wanted more out of my cartoons. I couldn't deal with these Aladdin genie kind of stuff. No way. Give me Cobra Commander. Give me Flint. That's what I want out of my cartoons. I don't want this Aladdin. I don't want this Timon and Pumbaa. I don't want any of that kind of stuff. I don't want these Dalmatians running around. I never had time for that. Never had time for Sesame Street. I was a kid from the streets. I understood the streets. Class of 1984, I say it all the time. If you haven't watched that movie yet, you better watch it. That'll tell you about my childhood. I was kind of like the Michael J. Fox character in Class of 1984. But let me tell you, I was a lot cooler than he was in that movie. I will. I was a lot cooler than he was in that movie. So check out the Class of 1984. Report back to me, and you can say, Kyle, I understand you. I understand you now. And that was kind of my life. That was like my school back in the day. So the more you know, folks, the more you know. But DuckTales all day long, twice on Sunday. I'm all in on this line. Completionist on this line. Love some DuckTales. Woo, as we know. Sign me up all day long once again. We also saw some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff, and I have no idea where this came from, but apparently it came from Mikey's Nightmare, and that's, of course, Michelangelo, my fellow brother in pizza love, something like that. Mikey's Nightmare, he comes with like a druid cult guy and a reptilian. Of course, our reptilian overlord's taking over, shape-shifting. You got to pause the video. You can see my eyes change every once in a while like a reptilian. It's a wild talent I have, but I'm not a reptilian. Or am I? I'm not exactly sure. But very creepy. I'm here for this. I don't know anything about it. Just cool looking figures on the turtle shelf. Sign me up once again. Moving over to Marvel Legends. How about a little Spider-Man Noir? We had him once upon a time. Now we get him again. I believe a Target exclusive. We did see that from that convention down in Mexico last weekend. So Spider Noir coming back in there in a black and white packaging. Oh, that's going to set the world on fire, as we know. And then, man, new Spider-Man movie around the corner, and we got Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man from that up for pre-order. I'm always here for a Hulk figure and a Spider-Man figure too. So this one's playing all the hits. I'm sure the movie will be just fine. So we'll see where that ends up going. But those are the two first figures from that movie coming. A lot of people should be excited. And then speaking of Spider-Man, I'm supposed to get that Lizard figure in the mail, I believe, today. So more on that on the channel sooner rather than later as well. Moving over to Mythic Legion, it's all about dividing your fan base this week. I talked about those NECA Ultimates. A lot of people upset about that, even though we don't know exactly what it is. Talked about some of the re-releases in the wrestling. It's all about making your longtime people that give you the money mad. And that's never a good thing, I'll tell you that. And I'm seeing that this week with Mythic Legions. Legion Con at the end of the year. A lot of people upset. I've seen it in message boards. I've seen it on the old interwebs this week. They did announce King Arthur and Merlin, like good version and evil version of Merlin. Of course, a magician. Of course he's a magician. And there used to be a guy at a grocery store. You guys know I dabble in a little of the grocery store action, bread Jesus and all. There was a guy at one of the grocery stores here, and he was an assistant manager, about the same age as me, and the guy's name was Merlin. It is Merlin. I don't think he's died. He could have died, but he was about my age, so he's probably still alive, I think. Fingers crossed. His name was Merlin, and I remember introducing myself to Merlin, and I said, oh, like the magician. And he looked at me like he didn't even know what I was talking about, or he did not appreciate the joke. It was one of those two, but Merlin the magician, and he kind of looked like he was Amish, but he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy. Anyways, but where am I going? I'm on one today. I'm all fired up. I'm fired up. Haven't slept this week. Like I said, it's been a challenging week, and I'm getting my frustrations out right here today. But Mythic Legion's dividing their customer fan base with this because there's so much stuff coming at us. It's coming at us left and right. We know what's going on, Todd. It's coming at us all the time, and there's so many people that want to be completionists in these Legion lifelines. It's impossible. It's just impossible to do. Good friend of the channel. I'm breaking news right here, Todd McFarlane. I mentioned it to you, but I didn't give you the full scoop. Good friend of the channel, Jeff George. He's out of being a completionist in the Mythic Legions. There's too much stuff for him to keep track of. So he's out as well. But there's so much stuff between Cosmic, Infinite, Toy Show exclusive, Legion Con exclusives. It's making everybody's head spin. And I'm sure the Legion team, like all these other companies, you don't have to be a completionist. A lot of people want to be. So you got to pump the brakes every once in a while. Slow these things down. Money's tight these days. I spent $150 in gas this week to back and forth from Chicago. It's yeah, I got reimbursed for it, but that's besides the point. Oh my gosh, who knows? But the Legion life is a difficult life to be in. I have pretty much abandoned ship. I was very disappointed. If you guys remember my Legion unboxings, Kyle Peterson 2.0, you've seen that channel. I had a lot of figures that were broken on shipment, and that really left a bad taste in my mouth. Not the only time I had a bad taste in my mouth this week, Todd. More on that in the future, but Legion's really hurting their fan base, I would say right now. And it's a dangerous road. And I'm going to tell them they got to be careful. They got to be careful. That's what they got to do. So more on that in the future. But if you're after some more Legions, you want some Knights of the Round Table, ooh, Legion Con got you. And that's another thing. People are upset they're at Legion Con and then they're going to have to wait like another year to get the official releases without a head or whatever it's going to be. It's a whole rigmarole that's upsetting the fan base. It's upsetting the fan base, people. My goodness. And then we move over to another guy that likes to upset a fan base a time or two. We're talking about you, Todd, old Twinkle Toes. Todd, I missed you when I was in Chicago this week. I wish you could have came. I had a Fogo de Chao right outside my window of the Embassy Suites, and it was just calling my name, and I had no time to get there. It was very disappointing for me. It was just haunting me. I've always wanted to go to Fogo de Chao. I've been to similar ones, but I've never been to the Fogo. I need to go to the Fogo. And one time I almost went to the Fogo de Chao with my wife. We were in Kansas City, and we were really hungry, or I was really hungry. I said, oh my gosh, it's right here. Let's just go. She's like, that's fine. I might just eat a little bit of bread or salad. I'm like, oh, I can't take you here. I'm not going to spend $60 on your meal and you're just going to dabble in a salad. Oh my God, what are we doing? But anyways, talking to controversy, Todd from the couch. I've been calling this for the last year. When we found out officially Todd was losing the DC Multiverse license, it's true, you're losing it. I'm sorry to say it, but you're going out with a bang though. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Check out weekly purchases tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. We did know he's going out with a bang, but I told you guys, I said to everybody, he's going to re-release some of the ones that are very hard to find. He's going to get the most out of his molds. He's going to get as much money as he can before it's said and done. And then Friday this week, the McFarlane Vault coming May 8th. What is going to be in this vault? We have no idea. It could be full of surprises. Maybe he's going to give us original Spawn figures from the 90s, re-released and just remade, re-released the same figures. I doubt it. But I could see like some of these Wonder Woman figures and, you know, what was that Kyle Rayner Blue Lantern one? That's one of the key ones I'm missing in my collection. Some of this stuff get re-released because he's going to get the sales as best as he can. We saw this back in the day with Jakks as one that really hits home for me. Jakks Classic Superstars, right before they lost the license, let's re-release a bunch of the really hard to find ones to Toys R Us. Jakks did that. Todd's going to play those hits here. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff coming back out that people missed. Some of the high-priced figures, he's going to get as much money as he can on his way out. And I told you guys this about a year ago. Todd, I did. But check the videotape each week on the Toy News. So we're going to find out what's coming from the vault on May 8th. We also saw this week, and I saw it firsthand in my travels, the Supergirl Shipper. All those figures, I've already unboxed some of that stuff on the channel this week as well. But the McFarlane Supergirl Shipper, Supergirl, easy for me to say, Supergirl Shippers, out there at the Walmart. So if you're after them, check it out. You don't want to miss out on those. And then Todd, we've talked about it as well. He's got to diversify the portfolio. How's he going to make up this DC loss? We see him going in with some of his Image brethren with the Savage Dragon, the Shadow Hawks of the world. We see some of that. We see him ramping up some Spawn stuff and things like that. We see him diving into hockey and these new hockey figures and other things like that. We see Poppy's Playtime, whatever the heck that is. We're seeing him diversify the portfolio, working for life after DC. Well, this week we did see the announcement, minifigs. We're just going to call them minifigs. It's almost like Lego figures of the Spawn universe. Not for me, Todd. If you want to send me a set to unbox, I will. They're the size of a paperclip. That's not what I collect. But I'll dabble. I'll take a look at them and I'll give them away to one of the watchers if you want to. You just say the word, Todd. You say the word. And then finally, we're going to leave you with Todd McFarlane this week. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Leonardo, Donatello in their more samurai gear, we'll call it. Have to imagine the other two will follow. But we do have those going up for pre-order right now, which does coincide with the Patreon giveaway this month. Bebop and Rocksteady. Check that one out, as I said at the top here. And that is the toy news. I apologize. I'm a little bit more fired up than usual. Like I said, it's been a week. It's been a week. More on that in the podcast. Check out the podcast this week. Fired Up one. It's already on YouTube channel memberships. It's already on Patreon. I dive into that Hulk Hogan documentary with some thoughts. We talk a little business hat with Ross and a few other things. We talk a little action figure business over there. We try some brand new Doritos with my wife as well. And we answer some interesting Q&A from a prisoner. There's prisoners that watch this channel. Shout out to my brothers in Oz Penitentiary. I've been there. I know what it's like. But they apparently enjoy Angie as well. So shout out to the prisoners out there and shout out to Angie. Check out her Q&A, Patreon exclusive. I hate to do it to you guys. Maybe when I quit YouTube, I will post that on the way out maybe that's what I'll do. I got about 100 Classic Superstar videos still to post, but maybe I'll post that one on Angie on the way out of YouTube when I'm like done and the dust is settled. Because it's just too hot. It's like Jerry Springer's too hot. You could watch Jerry Springer. You could watch the regular podcast, but this one is too hot, of course. She spills some tea that I don't know if should be spilled in a Q&A, of course. And we talk about some crazy experiences along the way. So that's all I'm saying. But check it out. Cheap plug. Cheap plug. Just plugging holes. You guys know me each and every day. So there it is. That is the toy news. What are you excited for? What are you hoping to pick up? What are you wanting to see out of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. You made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you on Patreon, YouTube channel memberships, as I've been saying here. Check those out if you want to support the channel. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. That is the name of the podcast, Kyle Peterson Show. Each and every Tuesday where podcasts are found, we videocast on YouTube. And that's it. You know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
I walked 47 miles of barbed wire. Use a cold to skate for